To change the world, go home and love your family. A quote by Mother Teresa. As a child, I remember being in a restaurant with my parents and sisters. We were having a great time as a family when I noticed a couple sitting across from us. They were just watching and smiling. As they got up to leave, they smiled again, and when my father asked for the bill, we were told it had already been paid. My eyes opened wide and I asked, "Why, Papa?" And he said, "Your love for each other jumped from your hearts to theirs." Now, we all tell family we love them, but don't just say it, feel it, and send it from heart to heart. I didn't quite understand what my father meant that day until I experienced it 10 years ago when my sister came to visit me in Mexico City. I was living there at the time for several years, and I was excited to show her my stomping grounds. And like a brother, I made sure to warn her about the dangers of such a big city. But unfortunately, I didn't take my own advice. I got us into a cab, the wrong cab, at the wrong time. And before we knew it, we'd been kidnapped. It was like an out-of-body experience. I could see my sister kicking and screaming as two men pushed their way into our cab. I couldn't understand what was going on. And there she was screaming. And then I got punched in the head and I finally snapped out of it. But by then it was too late. "Calm your wife down," they screamed. My sister started hyperventilating, and I was just left thinking, so this is how it ends. "Empty your pockets, give us your bags." And then they held up my credit cards. "Your PIN numbers or you die." Of course I cooperated, but I didn't know how we were going to get out alive. So in that moment, without telling my sister what I was doing, I started to say my goodbyes. I looked her straight in the eyes and spoke directly into her soul. "I love you. I love you so much. You're the best sister I could ever have, and I'm sorry for getting us into this mess." With tears streaming down her face, she held my hand and then touched my cheek and said, "You're a wonderful brother. I love you." But there was something so profound about our love in that moment that something came alive inside us and inside that cab and transcended to everyone within the cab. And it was in that moment that I understood what my father had meant. Because now, instead of yelling, they said, "Where are you from?" I said Chile, and my sister said Canada at the same time. They looked confused, and I didn't want them to think we were playing games. So I quickly offered up, "We were born in Chile and raised in Canada. And she's not my wife, she's my sister." She instinctively jumped in and humanized us. "Do you have sisters?" she said. The one guy said, "Yeah, but we're not close like you two. They hardly take my calls." And we all laughed together. And then the guy beside me eased up and said, "Your sister has a great kick. She got me right in the leg." My sister just giggled and said, "I'm sorry, but you guys scared me." And there we were in the back of this cab, connecting with our captors like we were making new friends. I said, "Chile and Mexico are both in the World Cup." And they got so excited and cheered. We must have spoke about soccer for what seemed like hours as we drove around in a holding pattern waiting for them to get instructions. I ended up seeing the one guy's screensaver, the Toronto Raptors, and switched the conversation to basketball. Eventually, he was even showing me photographs of his girlfriend. Then the phone rang, and they received word that money had been retrieved from our account and we were to be dropped off. I said, "You can't drop us off here. It's dark and in the middle of nowhere. We'll just get picked up again and kidnapped again." And they actually gave us directions. And then I thought, wait a minute, you took all our money. Give us some money back. And they looked at each other. The one guy nodded, and they gave us 100 pesos. 100 pesos? Give me 100 pesos. Give my sister 100 pesos. And they did. And then the cab stopped, the door opened, and we were rushed out. But not before hearing them say, "Amigos, when we see Chile in the World Cup, we're going to remember you two." As I look back on that night many years later, there is no question in my mind that the love between my sister and I saved our lives that night. Like my father had said to us as kids, our love for each other jumped from our hearts to theirs. So next time you tell someone you love them, don't just say it, feel it, and send it from heart to heart. Thank you.